I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh.
It's me, Dracula. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
Oh, I'm tired. I am beat. Life is taking its toll on me this week, man. I'll tell you what. I guess we should do our formal intro. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the VHS Doom podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Crutcher, and I'm here with my co-host, Mikey.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello. Welcome back to our...
Welcome to the Splatterfest.
To the Splatterfest. Yeah, welcome to our store. We're glad you decided to return. We did keep Scabby in order last week, so we're hoping... Oh, you brought the kids? All right, good. Yeah, we'll try to keep it safe this week. That way...
there hasn't been many sightings of him recently, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's been on the down low. Maybe it's because Jimmy's actually working on the podcast again, and Scabby likes to torture Jimmy the most. I don't know, but
I think so.
Yeah, the place is kind of clean. The boxes are less chewed on, less mucusy, less scabs around the building, and not as many teeth marks on stuff. So, yeah, we're glad you're joining us this week.
I will say, guys, there has been a Cthulhu and Dagon sighting.
Oh,
Please
man.
be advised, do not look at Cthulhu in the eyes. He accidentally woke up from his nap recently, and we're kind of afraid.
Oh, God. How long was his nap?
Eons.
Eons. Yeah, so he's real stiff and real cranky. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's acting like a 2.5-year-old right now.
Oof. He's way too powerful for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Welcome back to the VHS Doom Rental Store. We're glad you're continuing to use your membership benefits, your 5 free rentals per week with your $3 member card. We're also, super happy that you've purchased the staff shirt. I'm kidding. No one's done that. Not even one person. But if you want one, you can go to vhsdoom.com and pick one up. All
proceeds do go to me getting an actual microphone.
Correct. All proceeds go to Mike to get him a microphone. So very cool stuff. You guys have picked a great week to jump in if this is your first time visiting the VHS Doom Rental Store, because this week we are covering a double feature, a super double feature, starring one Zoro. Oh, wait, no, it's not starring anybody named Zoro. There is a Zoro character. We're talking about Frankenhooker and Brain Damage. Clap.
Want a date?
Yay, want a date? Yeah, so you guys picked a great week to join us if it's your first time, and you picked a great week to stop by if it's not, and we appreciate you coming back. So that's this week for us. So before we get started, how's your week been, Mike?
It's been good. We went to a parade yesterday for Memorial Day. Then we went to a little barbecue with Katie's family.
Okay.
And we took Sam to the park 2 days in a row, so that was fun.
Oh, that's nice.
I watched a couple movies too, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you guys do?
Well, yeah, we had the extra day off because of Memorial Day, so I ended up I grilled some food. I got a grill.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so we do this thing where Carla finds stuff. If you don't know about this and you live in the United States, there is a project which is called the Buy Nothing page, which is primarily on Facebook, but Buy Nothing groups are all over the country. So Carla is she's involved in Buy Nothing as the group. She was going to be an admin at one point or whatever, but everywhere that we move, she joins the Buy Nothing page, right? So she finds all this stuff for free. It's you got to clean it up a bit or whatever, but she found me a gas grill, 4-burner, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with a side burner kind of deal. And I just had to clean it, and get it working. And now I have a brand new grill that cost like $300 new for nothing. So, yeah,
I love that. Yeah, we got a free crock pot from my mother-in-law yesterday. When we
nice.
moved, we lost the wire to the old one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess whoever was helping us move, they just like dropped the wire and left it
Mm.
there,
Okay.
and we
Yeah.
never saw it again. So like it's been like 3 years, and I just want some stewed meats.
Yeah, man, some stewed meats. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. It'll say Mikey and then quotation stewed meats.
Me with a thumbs up and a smiley face.
Yes, that's the new t-shirt.
Hey,
Stewed
Mikey,
meats.
he likes it.
Mikey says stewed meats. Yeah, man. Yeah, so we grilled. I did burgers and dogs and the whole deal, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, had a pretty classic American, holiday.
Yeah, we ended our night with Burger King, so it's kind of American, right?
That's about as American as you get. I mean, unless you went to McDonald's. So,
Oh
God,
man.
wild. Anyway, yeah. So that was our week. What did you watch anything?
Oh yeah, I watched two more crazy splatter movies.
Hmm.
I kind of want to go with the same vibe as the show is going to be today. So I picked Death Spa, which is like a slasher movie, but it's like a killer spa. Like a ghost like inhabits a spa and starts killing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's really weird.
Gotcha.
And then I watched. Oh, this one is from '87, and then I watched Body Melt from 1993 from Australia. It's kind of in the same vein as like Bad Taste, Brain Dead, Street Trash kind of thing.
Nice. I love all of that.
These vitamins start making people just like mutate and explode.
Okay. Gotcha. Nice.
As you can tell, it goes with the theme of the show.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. A lot of explosions. Oh
A
my
lot
God.
of weird body parts just melting,
Melting, exploding, flying
turn
off.
neon. You know.
Yeah. Right. Put in trash cans. Whatever. Okay. Yeah. No. Cool. I love that.
Oh, and we just finished Barry. last episode.
I saw you tweeting about that.
Oh
So
man, I wish the show didn't end, but
did I see you say that you thought Barry was better than Dexter?
yes, and this is coming from a Dexter fan.
Okay. What makes
Because
it?
like it ended in like a better way than like Dexter did, in my opinion, from the first season.
Okay.
I didn't really like New Blood that much because I felt like his girlfriend, the sheriff, was kind of stupid because everything was right in front of her.
Okay. Gotcha. I never watched New Blood.
It's okay. I just don't like how it ended. That's once again with Dexter. I don't know why.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, okay, so I got so mad at Dexter. Maybe my listeners, maybe our listeners will
Just
hate
yours.
me. Yeah, just my listeners,
Team
not
Mike
Mikey's.
versus Team Dylan.
Team Mikey will be happy. No, I think our listeners might hate me for this. I don't know, maybe not. But in Dexter, I made it up to the point where, if you haven't watched Dexter, he has a like girlfriend in Rita in the beginning.
Is it the Trinity Killer?
Yes.
Okay.
I was so mad.
That's the best season.
It was so good. But
John Lithgow is an amazing villain.
He's an amazing villain. Yeah, like funny, goofy guy that just makes like, oh, he's so serious, right? But like, I was so angry. That show got such a good reaction out of me. I was so angry that I never picked it up again. I'm like, nope, I'm so mad. She was the one redeeming.
A couple seasons after are good, but other than that, I think that it kind of cuts off.
Bro, she was his redeeming factor in life. You know what I mean? Like, she was it. She was like the pinnacle of what was good in his life. And when that, man.
I find the shows kind of similar in a way.
And Barry?
And Dexter, yeah.
Okay.
Where Dexter's a serial killer who works for the police. Barry is a mercenary who used to be in the military who works for the Chechens at one point.
Okay. Gotcha.
And remember from Office Space, the guy with like who says like my stapler?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He plays his like mentor in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just realized it the other day when somebody posted on Twitter. Because like he's all tattooed out in the last season.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Look at Milton in like Office Space. It's kind of funny.
I feel like he played another character I can't place. Hold on, let me look him up really quick.
Stephen Root. It's spelled STPHAN, I think.
And what's the last name?
Root, ROOT.
What am I thinking of him, man? Oh, brother, where art thou? Yeah, that was it. I was a
I haven't
really
seen that in
big
so long.
I was a really big Oh Brother Where Art Thou fan when I was like a kid, like a teenager. I don't know, I just really liked it a lot. Um, but yeah, I remember him from that. Oh, and he was in No Country for Old Men. Man, he's been in so much stuff.
Yeah, it was just like weird because like I didn't realize he was Milton until like halfway through like the second season.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. Did you ever watch The Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
I don't think so.
It's like a western like homage kind of movie on Netflix.
Oh no,
It's
I don't have Netflix anymore. I told you last episode.
oh yeah, right. It's
It's too much
a
money.
Coen Brothers movie. It's actually
Oh,
pretty
okay.
solid.
Oh, I'll check it out then. I'm a giant fan of theirs.
You
I
should.
love Blood Simple, No Country,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So good.
Fargo.
It's oh god, it stars
You
Tim
know
Blake.
they were I think they worked on Evil Dead, the first one, the Coen brothers.
Did they?
Well, at least one of the brothers did. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, it stars Tim Blake Nelson, who's also in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and Liam Neeson, James Franco. Like, it's got a lot. Have you seen the meme where it's James Franco with like a noose around his neck, and he says, "Oh, your first time?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's from that movie. So
Okay, I've never seen the movie, but I've seen the meme like everywhere.
that's your homework. You go check that movie out, I
Okay.
guess, and I'll go finish it because I fell asleep like halfway because I'm an old man.
I did- so
Jeez.
it was Sunday. I started watching Brain Damage. No, it was last night. I did a rewatch of Brain Damage. I
Mhm.
passed out right after one of the scenes, and then I woke up. I'm like, oh god, I need to rewatch this. So I did it in the morning.
Nice. I fell asleep during Brain Damage too, but I was getting so tired that I made the choice to go to sleep. At least I felt good about that because like it was at the point where he was about to really like he got beat. No, he was right. It was right before he was going to go into the hotel and try to beat the drug. Essentially,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So he goes into the subway and like he comes up the stairs and it's like a real calm part of the movie. I was like, oh, this is a perfect stopping point. I know exactly where
my
I'm
body
at.
doesn't do that. I just fall asleep.
No, usually
And I'll
I
like
don't.
jolt awake and like half the movie's over. I'm like, what?
Right? No, usually I don't. Usually I just like fall asleep. But I felt good because I made the choice. I'm going to turn this off so I don't miss it and I don't forget where I was. So that was good. Yeah. So as far as like, well, was there anything else you watched that you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think. I watched Barry, Body Melt, Death Spa, and I guess the movies for today. That was pretty much it.
You didn't watch the Perry Pingus Circus?
What's that?
It's the
Something
Chode.
you're into, not me.
The Chode Farm Circus. So Mike's name today is Perry Pingus, and Perry Pingus is a character from the Chode Farm, which would be a film by Quentin Tarantino. Anyway, okay, that was stupid. Let's continue. So me, as far as what I watched this week, I don't have a ton of time, so I literally watched these two movies. That's what I spent all my time doing. But
And these were they first watches for you?
actually, both are first watches for me this week.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I thought I had watched Frankenhooker before, and I feel like I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like it's in the back of my brain. Maybe I've watched it, so I might be lying. I might have seen it when I was like,
talked about it, and like I showed you when we went to Monster Mania Con. I got that poster, if you remember.
Yeah, it's likely I could have been like drunk or high as like a younger adult and watched it and not remember it. You know what I mean? I mean,
did
that's
I bring
life,
it to a movie night? I don't remember.
That's the thing. I don't know. But that was fun. But I did do two things. So I have subscribed to YouTube like premium free trial.
Oh yeah, I have that too.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep it yet, but I wanted to see what it was like, and you're able to download some movies. So I downloaded a couple movies that I'm going to watch, and I was going to ask you if you have seen, well, one of them, obviously, I think you've seen, which would
If
be...
I haven't seen these, I'm probably going to cry.
No, it's fine. The Bat, 1959, The Bat, Vincent Price.
Long time ago. I haven't seen that in ages.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a very,
it was in one of
very long
those
time.
like 50-pack like movie sets from like
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Mill Creek.
Yeah, it's not one of his more notable films, but I do want to watch it. So I downloaded that, and then also I hadn't heard of this, but it is from Cult Cinema Classic, so I wanted to see if you'd heard of it. The Brain That Wouldn't Die,
Oh, yeah,
1962.
I've seen that one before.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't
Recommend?
remember.
Oh, okay.
I remember it
Wow.
being like on everybody's like list from the movies from that time though, like for horror
Yeah.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
but as I said, it's like I watched so many movies that like I kind of confuse things
no, I get it.
sometimes.
Yeah. If you don't have it right in front of you, it might be hard to recall. I get it. But yeah, so I added those two to my list. So hopefully by next week, I'll be able to be like, hey, I watched those two movies and I can talk about them a little bit. So I'm at least taking some steps towards watching more stuff. Anyway, but yeah, so that's our weeks. Cool. Did you body slam any kids through the table this week?
No, everybody's been returning things on time.
Wow, rewound and everything?
Yeah, nobody asked for any new cards or anything.
No? Wow. What is this is like too perfect. I feel like things are about to explode. No. I know that's you. Stop messing around. I know that's not Scabby. I know what Scabby sounds like. Get out of here. No, that's still you. Stop
Damn,
it. Uh-huh.
it found out.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's like a Scooby Doo episode. I'm scared
Right.
man all along.
It was Mikey all along. No, definitely not. Scabby Man is terrifying. I just happen to know what he sounds like, so I can tell when you're trying to mess with me. Anyway, well, all right. I guess we should get moving. Yeah, so welcome back, everybody. Thanks for checking back in. As Mikey said, thank you for actually rewinding every single thing. Is it maybe it's the VHS rewinders that we're now giving out as a part of membership?
Oh, we're doing that? I thought you said the last time we were charged, you yelled at me for saying that it was a part of the membership. Oh no.
Oh, no, I know. I absolutely did. It's Hugh Janus. He continuously updates terms. So
It doesn't warn us at all. And we're all CC'd on the emails, but we get it last minute.
yeah, a lot of his stuff goes to my spam folder, but yeah, no, that one came through. So we're giving out those rewinders as a part of membership now. Now we still own the property, so if they like cancel their membership, they have to give it back, or else I'm supposed to send you with a bullwhip and barbed wire, and you're supposed to tie them down to a chair with barbed wire and then whip them on their legs over and over until
Some
they
people might
tell
like
you.
that though. That's kind
They
of weird.
tell you where it is. But the thing is, the reason that Hugh wants you to do this is because I think in like the last episode, you said that you were involved in the Chicago Mafia as someone named Alfredo Linguini. Is that true?
I don't know. It might not be me.
Okay, well, he's pretty convinced that you're like a mafia punisher.
But why a
so-
bullwhip? I've never seen that before. That's kind of weird.
I don't know.
Eugenus is a perv.
I bet he probably has pictures of you that he screenshots off the cameras in his room.
That's creepy. he 1 hour photos me.
Yes. I saw him carrying around a Polaroid the other day. I think he likes that aesthetic.
That's why he's been dressing like Robin Williams lately.
Yeah, I think I saw him dressed up in like, the mascot costume. Ooh, that's a good question. What's our mascot?
I don't even know. A videotape?
A giant
A
videotape?
melting videotape.
Yeah, a giant melting videotape with arms and legs. Oh man.
Oh,
Anywho, well, tons of fun. At the old VHS Doom Rental Store. It's a pretty cool place. I heard that old Leon Labe is gonna put a couch in like a place where you can play N64 and like PlayStation, have like a little chill area. So we're gonna call that the lounge. And then people can come hang out with us while we work because we get bored in here sometimes. So anyway,
Yeah, we
cool
can
stuff.
talk about Mortal Kombat.
Ooh, are you excited for that?
I am way too excited for it.
Are you gonna buy a new system for that?
I have to. I mean, I have the not three. I mean, Jesus, I have the Xbox One S. I think it's called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and most games are not even like new games are not even going to be put on anymore. So
Gotcha.
my
So
360 just died last week,
Oh, that's so sad. Rest in peace.
and it had a disc inside. I'm kind of mad. And ironically, it was Mortal Kombat 9.
Oh no, for real? So you lost it?
Yeah,
Just tear it open, man. Tear it open and get it back. That's wild. Yeah,
it was one of the slim ones. They usually don't get red ring, but it was like lighting up red.
Oof, that's no fun. Gotta
Yeah.
hate that. I have the PS4 now. I think I mean eventually maybe I'll upgrade. I just don't have enough time to play anything
No,
anymore,
I
you
get it.
know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, shoot, the last things I was playing was like regularly. Actually, you know what? Here, if anybody is considering quitting smoking cigarettes at any point in your life, what I did to quit before my daughter was born is
Yay,
I
he
lit.
did it! Clap,
What?
clap, clap, yay!
What?
Because I quit too.
Oh, you!
A while ago, yeah.
Yay!
Like right before Sammy was born.
Yeah, I quit right before Ari was born. But what I did was I used like a vape. I switched to a vape to kind of like walk down the nicotine. And then for like the last 3 days, I just played Skyrim the entire time because I needed something that was going to fully occupy my mind.
Yeah.
And Skyrim, I mean, those like open world, and I mean, I would have played Red Dead 2 or, you know, something as well. But like one of those like open world, like occupy all your time games.
That's how
Shit.
Elden Ring was for when it first came out for me.
Elden Ring, man. I was like this close to getting and playing Elden Ring, but I just don't have the time commitment anymore. I mean, I don't have the
Yeah,
time
I
to
mean, I
commit.
killed Margit, one of the first bosses, and then
Hmm.
I had like other stuff came out and like movies came out, and I just stopped playing it.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's Dark Souls, right? Like that's the part of the
Yeah, from
Dark Souls,
software.
yeah, franchise. So that stuff. I mean, it never really appealed to
You
me, and
should
I don't
play
know
Bloodborne
why.
since you have a PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a Lovecraftian from soft game that plays like Dark Souls.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll check that out. I don't know.
Like the last half of it goes into like Lovecraftian monsters and stuff.
I like that. What was that the game that you were sending
No,
me?
Sinking City. I was playing a couple of years ago.
Right. Yeah. 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 Did you like that?
I did. It was I like that one, and then the Call of Cthulhu game
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
came out like the same time as that one was pretty
Yeah. I
good
remember
too.
that one. Yeah. Was that one you played?
I
That
played
was
both
more
of
of
them.
like
Yeah.
that was more of like a detective style game, though, right?
Yeah, I kind of confused both of them because they're sort of similar.
Hmm.
One of them was more of like talking to NPCs and like trying to figure stuff out, kind of thing.
Yeah. I think that was Call of Cthulhu. I remember. I think I remember you sending me
Yeah, because
the
this is like right
trailers.
before Sam was born. I was playing that.
Right. And I think the Call of Cthulhu was where you were playing a detective and you were trying to solve like a murder in a house or
Oh
something
yeah, and it
like
had
that.
multiple different endings to it too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you could get
Oh
different
yeah, that was
scenes or
those are
whatever.
fun.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Anyway, all right. Well, we got a little off, but hey, we also rent video games here at the rental store. So yeah, check them out, man. But today, I think you guys should go ahead and step on up to the counter, real close now, real close,
Don't put your tongues in the glass though.
creepily close. I can smell you. Oh, I'm just kidding. Yeah, step on up. That was real creepy. I won't sniff you. And we are going to talk about two awesome titles today. We'll read the back of the box. We'll go through the plot, give you a good overview, and then we're going to send you home with them. And we'll talk about some other movies at the end that you're going to go home with too. But today's features, double feature episode. Good Lord. We're in for the long haul. Frankenhooker and Brain Damage. Mikey, what do you have to say about these films before we jump in?
I really like this director Frank Henenlotter. I like his like weird like takes on horror and stuff. Like the Basket Case trilogy are some of my favorite movies too, which are I think in the same universe as these two movies.
Okay. Do they have the same
Like
oh
same kind of
gosh.
locations and like same kind of actors. Like I told you, Zoro's in Brain Damage, and he's like the guy in the shower scene.
Yeah, no, I know. I think I texted you that. I said, "Hey, Zoro's in the shower." Joseph Gonzalez. It did so he's also in Death Wish 3. Did
That's
he?
that's why he looks familiar.
Yeah.
Was he
He
part
only
of the
has
Street Gang?
he only has 3 credits.
That Street Gang was so cool with the face paint stuff.
Let's see. He's way down on the list. uh, Joseph Gonzalez. It doesn't. He's not even credited as a. So he must have been a part of the gang because he doesn't even have a name. titled to
I
him.
love that movie so much.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, yes. So these two movies were both solid, and we're super excited to talk about them. So come on, step on up. Let's press play. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, cool. So, what film do you think we should talk about first, Mikey?
Let's see. We can go with Brain Damage first, and then I want to talk about. We can talk about Frankenhooker because that's like my favorite one.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea because Brain Damage came out in '88 and Frankenhooker came out in '90. So let's go in chronological
I think they were
order.
filming Basket Case 3 and Frankenhooker at the same time.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, here we go. Let's read the back of the box here on Brain Damage. So, Brain Damage is a 1988 American comedy horror film written and directed by Frank. Is it Henenlotter?
Yeah, it's Henenlotter.
Henenlotter? Directed by Frank Henenlotter. It stars Rick Hurst in his debut acting role as Brian, a young man who becomes acquainted with a talking parasite known as Aylmer, which sounds like Elmer.
On the back of the arrow box, it does say Elmer with an E.
Does it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Here it says online. It says known as Aylmer, Aylmer.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm confused because like in the actual Blu-ray they have the captions say with an ALY.
Yeah, so he explains it. The old guy, when he's talking about like the parasite itself, talks about it's not Elmer, it's Aylmer. So they must maybe I don't know. That's interesting. We'll keep going though. Aylmer or Elmer is voiced by John Zackerl. That voice is ridiculous. The parasite injects Brian with an addictive fluid that causes euphoric hallucinations. In return, the juice. Aylmer demands that Brian allow him to feed on the brains of other humans. So it's a parasitic relationship, but I guess what's the word I'm looking for?
Penis monster?
Huh? Penis monster? No, I was not looking for the words penis monster whatsoever. When a parasite cohabitates with someone and they both get benefits from it, I don't know what that relationship is. Mutualism. Okay. So symbiotic, essentially. So mutualism, which I mean, I'm stupid because like, I'm a Spider-Man fan, right? So, right. Anyway, awesome. That was dumb. But yeah, so mutualism is a symbiotic relationship in which both species benefit. Now, I don't know if I would say that Brian really benefited until he was addicted.
He benefited but, I mean, because he survived. That's basically it.
Yeah. So I mean, he got hooked on the juice, and the parasite had the juice. Unfortunately, I mean, it was a true parasitic relationship because he got hooked on essentially like the strongest form of heroin or whatever.
That's like right? LSD.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, LSD, right?
That's what it says in the box here, actually.
Oh, yeah?
It said,
okay.
But these LSD like trips come along with a hefty price.
Ah, got you. Hey, why don't you just go ahead and read? You have the arrow box, you said?
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, read that copy. Read the back of that one.
All right, so from Frank Henenlotter, the man behind such horror favorites as Basket Case and Frankenhooker, comes Brain Damage. The ultimate head trip now on Blu-ray. Meet Elmer. He's your friendly neighborhood parasite with the ability to induce euphoric hallucinations in his host. But these LSD trips come with a hefty price tag. When young Brian comes under Elmer's addictive spell, it's not long before he finds himself scouring the city in search of parasitic friends and brains. It says dash brains.
Yeah. Okay, nice. So, all right, before we move forward, the film was obviously directed by Frank Henenlotter. The screenplay was also by Frank Henenlotter, and it was produced by Edgar Levins. But yeah, before we move forward, just like a quick note. So Frank Henenlotter, his like chronology, is that the word?
Chronology.
Yeah, he had Basket Case. Well, okay, so there was a movie called That's Sexploitation in 1973
I've
that he
never seen that.
directed. I've never seen it either, but that title exists. It doesn't even have like a cover on Google, so I don't know. And then in 1982, he directed Basket Case.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. In 88, Brain Damage. In 90, Basket Case 2. Also in 90, Frankenhooker,
Oh,
which
okay, Basket
is...
Case 2. I said 3 before. Okay, makes sense now.
Oh, you're fine because it's so close. Basket Case 3 came out in 1991, so you're not even
I think they
far
literally
off.
just went from production to production.
I think so. But so here's the thing. Frank Henenlotter just stops directing in 1991 until Bad Biology
With
in
the rapper
2000.
R.A. the Rugged Man. I haven't seen it,
Yeah,
but I heard it's good.
in 2008. I've never seen that either, but it's just a very weird, like, he just stops, just completely stops. Maybe he said everything he wanted to say. Is he still living?
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Yeah, he's 72 years old.
That's funny. I'm reading the back of this case and it's saying about the first assistant director, and that's the director of Slime City.
Okay,
The other
gotcha.
splatter movie I showed you with like the green, like neon green shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I love these movies, man.
I gotta wonder, like, okay, so I'm looking a little deeper. I got on Wikipedia. So in 2008, he directed and wrote Bad Biology, but then in 2010, he co-directed a documentary, Herschel Gordon
I have
Lewis, the
that.
Godfather of
It's
Gore.
good.
And then it looks like he came. Oh no, I'm sorry. So Google itself has some errors because in Wikipedia it says his 1972 film was actually called The Slash of the Knife, which was a short film. So I got to check that out. But it says then in 2013 that he was co-writer and co-director of That's Exploitation.
I think it was another documentary.
Okay. It looks like he got into documentary filmmaking. So in 2015, he did Chasing Banksy, and he was the director and co-writer. Yeah.
Oh shit, I've seen that.
Yeah. And then in 2018, he did Boiled Angels: The Trial of Mike Diana. That's a documentary. I've never seen that or heard of it. But so what's really weird to me is that from 91 to 2008, he did absolutely nothing. Maybe he was raising kids. Like, I don't know. Right. And then he got into documentaries starting in 2010, and he's actually kind of done them consistently, 2010, 2013, 2015, 2018. So he took quite the break from film. So just interesting notes there on the director. So I wanted to share. Okay, cool. So moving on, unless you have any notes, Mikey.
No, I already said it, but you were talking about the other thing.
Okay.
No, it was just about the first first assistant director of this movie, Brain Damage, Gregory Lamberson, directed the movie Slime City, and I think there's 2 sequels to that, and that's really weird, like almost like these kind of movies.
Oh, okay, cool. Kind of same universe deal?
Kind of, yeah, no, not really. I don't think it's the same universe, but it feels like this weird kind of like trauma-esque kind of thing that these movies kind of feel like.
Okay, gotcha. So,
do you get that vibe from these movies too?
What's that?
That these feel kind of like trauma movies also.
They do. Well, so that's the thing. Isn't Frankenhooker a trauma technically produced film?
No, it was Glickenhaus and something. And Glickenhaus was a director himself. He did the revenge movie, The Eliminator.
But when I was watching this, so I watched this on Tubi because that's the only place I could find. The only place that I could find these. But in the very beginning credits of Frankenhooker, then it's trauma. It states trauma.
Is it really?
Like
I might be
does. Wrong, let me look it up real quick so I'm not lying on the podcast.
No, I wouldn't think you're lying.
True. No. I just want to make sure I'm not lying to myself. Trauma Frankenhooker. Hooker. Yeah, so Frankenhooker's on Troma now,
So that's probably, they
and
probably got the rights recently.
it looks like, according to so it looks like in April 2021, it was reported from Attack from the Planet B website that Troma Entertainment acquired James Glickenhaus's North American Pictures catalog, including The Exterminator, Maniac Cop, Frankenhooker, and Basket Case 2 and 3. So it seems that the Troma name will be on it if you see it now. So interesting. Okay, I was wondering about that because I was thinking, well, the way this film feels, it is a Troma film from start. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
must have been from the beginning. But that's cool. Okay. All right. Well, let's move forward then. So, cinematography of this film of Brain Damage is Bruce Torbett. It was edited by Frank Henenlotter and James Y. Kwai. Music was by Gus Russo and Clutch Riser. That is a cool name too. Wow, people have neat names. Anyway, and then the production company was the Brain Damage Company at the time, it looks like. It was distributed by Palisades Entertainment, which I did still see on the credits when I was watching this. And I think it says Palisades Entertainment as well on Frankenhooker. And then it was released in 1988 in New York to audiences there. The runtime is 86 minutes. Yeah, so it was produced on a budget of under $2 million. Brain Damage is the second feature film directed by Henenlotter following Basket Case in 1982. Principal photography and filming on Brain Damage took place in Manhattan, New York in 1987. The film has been characterized as containing themes relating to both drug abuse and sexuality, though Henenlotter has downplayed such interpretations, which makes sense. I don't think it's supposed to be a super serious film. Along with special makeup and optical effects, the film makes use of mechanical puppetry and stop-motion animation. Brain Damage received a limited theatrical release, premiering in select theaters in New York City on April 15th, 1988, before being released to Los Angeles, California, the following month. The film initially garnered mixed reviews, but quickly acquired a cult following after being released on home video. An uncut version of the film was later issued on DVD and Blu-ray. Which you own, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Arrow?
Yeah.
You said that, yes. Okay, cool. All right. Any notes before we jump into plot?
I just think this movie is funny, and the quotes in there are just hilarious.
Bro, it's
I can't wait till you start
ridiculous.
talking about the quotes from Elmer.
Oh my god, dude, his voice. Okay, let's go. We'll talk about plot, and we'll get all into that. I think that these will probably be quicker. I think this might be a quicker double feature than when we did our Video Nasties double
That's
feature.
why I picked like two like crazy splatter movies that are like horror comedies, because like they're not going to be as long as like say like Cannibal Holocaust or a fake snuff movie.
Yeah, where we have to get super detailed. I think that we're just going to have a ton of fun talking about
Oh yeah,
this.
that's
And
what
I
I
think
wanted this episode to be. That's why I picked these two.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, okay. All right, let's go. Plot. So after suffering a brief illness, Brian experiences a powerful and comforting hallucination. He soon discovers that he has become host to a worm-like parasite that speaks perfect English and promises to give him a life free from worry. The hallucination was induced by fluid injected from the parasite's mouth through the back of Brian's neck and directly into his brain. The parasite offers Brian a steady supply of this fluid if you'll take me for a walk, in quotes there. While under the influence of the quote-unquote juice, Brian is incoherent and unaware of the world around him, allowing the parasite to kill and devour the brains of a night watchman in his junkyard, as well as a young woman in a nightclub. We have a lot to unpack here. Don't worry. Well, let me finish this paragraph and we'll go. This is a very, very general overview. As Brian became addicted to the juice, he isolated himself from everything and everyone else in his life, which worries his girlfriend, or former girlfriend, Barbara, and his brother, Mike. Okay, so let's unpack that very short paragraph with so much information. So in the very beginning, it shows an older, like later middle-aged couple, the husband comes home with a plate of brains, and essentially they're animal brains.
Yeah.
Well, they're they do a really good detailed shots of their apartment and show just all sorts of like
Weird shit.
antiquities, like weird old stuff, which I think is foreshadowing to what they have in their house, right? Well, the woman gets excited when her husband comes home with the animal brains, runs in and says, "Elmer, Elmer," and
He's not in the bathtub anymore.
yeah, the little turd isn't in the bathtub anymore. Okay, let's just say this parasite looks like a turd.
No, he looks like a penis.
He looks like a turd.
No, he looks like a penis to me. I don't know.
If you've ever seen a penis that looks like a poop, then yes, it looks like a penis.
No, it looks like a monster penis from fucking like an 80s movie.
Oh my god, bro. It's ridiculous. Anyway,
I've heard
so
people
he's not
say
in.
it though before. Well, I'm not the first person.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, he's very phallic. I'm just saying. I think he looks like a shit. You know.
All right.
Anyway,
a blue,
whatever.
weird, brainy shit.
Weird, brainy, toothy shit. Like the kind of shit that the intestines in Dead Alive would take. Anyway, yes. So when this couple discovers that Elmer is no longer in their house, he's escaped, they freak the F out.
That shit is hilarious. I'm sorry.
They tear their house apart. And they're so intense about tearing their house apart that the woman's literally opening the cabinets and just smashing her plates. Throwing stuff out of the fridge. The husband throws every book that they have off the bookshelf. They destroy their house. Well, that's really good foreshadowing to, addiction almost, because, no, not almost, to addiction, because by the end of this scene, they can't find Elmer, and they're both laying on the ground with their mouths foaming because they're going through withdrawals.
And dying.
Well, no, it doesn't kill them.
Okay.
It doesn't kill them, but it does seem to kill them. It seems like they're about to die. So, anyway, moving forward. So we next meet Brian's girlfriend, Barbara, who's coming over to his house. She is let in by his brother, Mike. I don't know if it's just me, but from the very beginning, Mike definitely had a hard-on for Barbara, right?
It's really obvious.
Even in the beginning, like when things were normal. So, yeah, Brian's not feeling super well. They were supposed to go, Brian and Barbara were supposed to go to a concert, which Barbara has the tickets for. And because Brian's feeling like legitimately very sick, he says, Mike, why don't you just go? You guys can go together. It'll be fun. To which Mike instantly gets an erection and runs out the door with Barbara to go to the... No, that doesn't really happen. But you can tell he's way too into it. Though. Right, it would. He was way, way too into Barbara. It's super uncomfortable from the beginning. Mike is played by, let's see, who plays Mike? So Mike was played by the actor Gordon McDonald. It looks like he had kind of a weird acting career. He's been in quite a bit of stuff, though. So he was in Brain Damage in 88. He was in Saving Grace, I guess, which is a TV show maybe, from 2007 to 2010.
That sounds like a familiar thing.
Yeah, Looking for Richard, which starred Al Pacino. The Brave One, Perfect Stranger. He was in 3 Days in Havana. Is that a porno? No, it's not. He's got a weird acting career. Anyway, I said all of that because really what I wanted to say was Mike was super creepy and he creeped me out. That's all. Super duper creepy. So good job, sir. Anyway, continuing. So come to find out, the reason that Brian is not feeling well is because he has had his neck bored into. He's got blood all over his bed and he gets juiced.
He likes the
What do you
juice.
have? What's that?
He likes the juice.
Yeah, so he goes through this sequence of like these crazy, like they did the best they could, I think, for 1988 for like making a ceiling like a lamp look really cool. And like they really like the movie gets super bright, and then he's like surrounded by this like blue liquid, like he's swimming in it, you know what I mean?
A lot of
And then
sticky and gooey things happen in like the 80s movie, 80s horror movie.
yeah, sticky. They like to get those actors really messy, and
it's like a slime. Like, have you seen like the remake of the Blob?
Of what?
The remake of the Blob.
No, I haven't actually.
Oh man, it's a really good movie from the 80s. It's a remake of the 50s. It was 50s or 60s movie, The Blob.
Who directed it?
Shoot, hold on.
It wasn't a Cronenberg remake.
No, I think it was Ken Russell.
That was just The Fly. Okay.
Charles Russell, Chuck Russell. He also directed The Mask, Dream Warriors, the third Nightmare on Elm Street movie, which is like everybody's favorite. I agree.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so anyway, from there, Brian starts to really go through a lot. He wants to chase the high because the high has been like the coolest thing he's ever experienced, right? So he goes... What's that?
Slowly killing him.
Yeah, for sure. But he doesn't know that at the time. He just sees the lights. The lights talk to him. He hears the sound of the lights. Like there's a lot of stuff, like little notes that he says like that. But anyway, so he goes into the bathroom after his high comes down the first time, and he says, "Hey, I know you're here. Like I know someone's here. Just show yourself." Well, the parasite comes out from his shirt. I think it was on his back or something.
Yeah,
like
I think it was like inside, like in his neck.
Yeah,
they don't
something
really say
like
where
that.
he goes because like he shows up in different areas.
Yeah, you know, he has suction cups like on his stomach, so I feel like he suctions himself to like different parts of his body or whatever. But anyway, he comes out, he introduces himself, and things start to get wild from there. Brian is not immediately like freaked out, which I mean, holy crap! Like I would have been like, what? But yeah, so
what would you do in this situation?
I don't know. I think that the only thing maybe he could do is, you know, what we'll get to later is maybe somehow knock himself out while going through withdrawals, you know? I don't know. Anyway, he goes out. He and the parasite, Elmer, go out. And he gets real high, and he does not actually remember doing a lot of things, such as helping the parasite eat the brains of other people.
Oh God, here we go.
such as a night watchman. So the first one that he kills is a night watchman.
Why don't you explain this one?
Yeah, so in the they end up in a junkyard. Brian climbs the fence into a junkyard while he's high because he sees this like rainbow of colors coming off of the junkyard cars, and he just starts running through them. Well, the night watchman hears something going on. He gets up, he goes out to chase the intruder. And when he finds him, you know, he says, like, stop. Well, Brian is just high, but he's not violent. So he complies, and he, you know, is about to get handcuffed. And in this process, the parasite jumps out and sticks to the forehead, which happens several times. Like, he makes his entry into the brain in a couple different ways. But one of them is jumping on someone's forehead and like boring through their forehead to eat their brain. So he does that to the night watchman. You know, he eats and then they leave. At this point, Brian is still extremely high, so he's not even realizing what's happening at all. Do you have any notes on that particular murder?
Wait, hold on, let me go back. Oh wait, he goes to a nightclub. And, like, he meets this girl.
Oh, the next one? Yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then, like, it looks like she's about to give him, like, a blowjob. And then Elmer comes out and, like, goes through her head.
Oh, my God.
And, like, it takes a long time, and it's so awkward.
It does. Yeah, so Brian, after they leave the junkyard, is drawn into like the
I
music,
think so.
I'm assuming, of the bar, but he ends up in a bar and he's just having a great time. And like the bartender sees him and, she talks to him and then she's into him because he's just having fun and she can tell I think that he's high or whatever, but she definitely doesn't know he's high on alien juice or parasite juice. So she takes him to have some fun in the back. I thought they were going to go into the bathroom, but they actually go onto like the
Like the
roof.
boiler room or
Um,
something.
yeah, somewhere that's like a private, no authorization that she has access to, I guess because she works there or whatever. And, they're kind of like, playing touchy feely. And then she goes down and she unzips his
And
pants
Elmer jumps out.
and Elmer jumps out of his pants into her mouth. Well, the thing is, he doesn't completely leave the pants, so it just looks like a dick. And uh, to make it even worse, for some reason, they decided that
James.
Brian should get into this, so he grabs her head and like forces her harder onto the
Alien. Parasite.
parasite, and
Ugh.
they just go and go and go, and they drag this out for so long.
I think that's what I texted you.
Like,
I was like rewatching it.
bro, you did. You were like, this is inappropriately long.
Like I don't like these things are crazy things in movies, but like it doesn't have to be
Yeah,
that long.
right. This is messed up. So yeah. Anyway, that happens. Brian leaves.
Yeah, he comes back to it,
He comes
and he
to
like
throughout
he's like, "Why is my
coming back
underwear wet?"
home.
And he realizes it's blood and like brain matter.
Right. Yeah. So he goes to like he's outside in like the courtyard of their apartment area, and he takes his pants off really quick and then takes off the underwear because his underwear are covered in blood from where the event has happened. So he throws his underwear into the trash and puts his pants on really quick. Well, anyway, so I'm going to get back into the notes that I have. So Brian awakens from his stupor long enough to learn about the murders. He's confronted in a courtyard outside of his apartment building by his neighbor, Morris, which is, the man from the couple that we mentioned earlier, and the previous owner of a parasite, who he has dubbed the Aylmer, Aylmer. So Morris states that it has changed hands hundreds of times across the globe since the Middle Ages. Morris, who fed Aylmer with animal brains, warns Brian that feeding it humans will make it too strong to resist. Horrified, Brian rents a flophouse room to wean himself off of the fluid and starve Aylmer, but Aylmer gleefully informs him that his body chemistry has irrevocably changed and that the pain of withdrawal will be too much for him to bear. Brian soon relents, now consciously attending Aylmer as he hunts for victims. So that's a lot to unpack there, too.
I wanted to talk about some quotes there, like since we got to that part. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah. So go ahead. You throw in your notes.
Just the funny things that Elmer would say to him, like oh, here it is. This starts a new life, Brian. A life without a worry or pain or loneliness. A life instead with colors, music, euphoria. A life of light and pleasure.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah,
That's like when
I mean,
they first meet. It's weird.
yeah, that is what it is, really. That's what the juice does for sure.
Oh, and the part with the girl. Okay, so like he's realizing it. That's like that happening, and sorry, it's making me laugh. I'm reading this out loud.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
He's like figuring out like what's all over his underwear, and he's like asking, and then Elmer's like, "It came from the girl at the club." He's like, "What girl?" The girls whose brains I ate. And then he's like, "What? The blood came from the girl whose brain I sucked out.
He's just so matter of fact about it. You're right. The way
I know.
he talks, though.
I have one more, and that's it. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And he's
Yeah.
like, "Is she dead?" And Elmer's like, "Of course she's dead. Are you kidding?"
Of course she's dead. Are you kidding? Dude, yeah. The way he talks is like so funny to me. I don't know why. It's like he's got this inflection in his voice that's like kind of like the up and down, like I don't know, it's real weird. But yeah, he's real matter of fact about it. Like, listen, you work for me now, sir. Yeah, so anyway, once Brian realizes that he is going through some like terrible physical changes, he does take precautionary measures, at least for his loved ones. So, what he does with Barbara, he takes her out to dinner and essentially breaks up with her because he knows he can't really control himself and he can't control the parasite currently. So he does the right thing in that sense. He just, when he tries to start explaining what it is, Elmer bites him or like, stops him from saying like what it, my new friend, essentially, is. So he's not able to actually fully explain himself there. So she's super confused. And then to his brother, he's like, stop, leave me alone, runs out of the house. And his brother like makes the comment like, you left your buckets, cause like, he had a bunch of buckets of water, for Elmer to like sit in or whatever. So, yeah, that's one thing. The parasite does have to stay moist. It has to be,
He needs
it
that
has to be in a sink.
moisturization.
Yeah, he's got to be in a sink full of water, tub of water, bucket of water, or in someone's mouth, possibly their anus. I don't know.
I don't think there was any anuses that were like invaded.
I don't know. When he's hiding under people's clothes, I don't know. Do you know the scene where? Okay, we're about to get there. Well, anyway, I won't spoil it before we get there. So, speaking on the girlfriend, like let's just kind of get this out of the way. So, because the brother is so creepy, Mike is so creepy towards Barbara and has such a hard on for Barbara. Barbara being broken up with by Brian opens up the door for Mike to be an uber creep, and essentially, Brian is going to go into a hotel room and try to detox and try to beat Elmer, but he can't because he's not strong enough to beat this drug, right? No shame. That's terribly intense and hard to do. So he doesn't make it through that. He relapses essentially. But Mike, his creep ass brother, who personally I think should have died in this movie because he was such a creep and awful, like brother, takes this opportunity to get into Barbara's pants and seduce her and say, "Well, I always cared about you," right? So anyway, Mike, they don't realize it, but Mike has come. I'm sorry, not Mike. Mike and Barbara don't realize, but Brian has come home after his attempt at detox, where he's almost been driven insane by, detoxing off of the juice, and he then hears them, having sex in the living room.
Fornication.
And again, in creepy film fashion, 1980s horror film fashion, they really, really draw out the sex scene, like really draw it out. It goes a long time. They show a lot, whatever. But what I found very interesting was that during the sex scene, Brian is like, he knows he's defeated. Like you can see the defeat on his face. And at like halfway through, Elmer raises up out of the bed, out of Brian's crotch area, and it looks like he's pitching a tent in his bed. That part caught me off guard. I'm like, what? So then Elmer comes out of the sheets and is like, can I help you here? And essentially gets Brian high, so he doesn't have to deal with that, which leads to a weird like threesome, like euphoria, like vision. It gets real odd there, but Yeah, that was sad.
This
Honestly, that was
podcast
rough.
is me driving Dylan insane.
Yeah, through like near porno level horror. But no, it's fine. That was fine. Anywho, so yeah, from there, Brian realizes that he can't beat Elmer, right? Did you have any quotes from when they were in the hotel room and he was detoxing that you wanted to talk about?
Um,
He starts singing at one point. Do you remember the song?
trying to think.
You know what? I don't. If you don't remember, it's fine. I'm going to include a clip right now.
Whenever you want to stop hurting, you come to me. When the pain gets so great you think you're turning inside out, just ask for my juice. Come to me when you're ready, Brian. Come to me and get my juice. Why are the stars always winking and blinking above? What makes a fella start thinking of falling in love? It's not the season, the reason is plain as the moon. It's just Elmer's tune. What makes a lady of 80 go out on the loose? Why does a gander meander in search of a goose? What puts the kick in a chicken, the magic in June? It's just Elmer's tune. Listen, listen. Please. There's a lot you're liable to be missing. Please help me. Sing it. I need it. So wing it. Any old way and any old time. The hurdy-gurdies, the birdies, the cop on the beat, the candy maker, the baker, the man on the street, the city charmer, the farmer, the man in the moon. Well, sing Elmer's tune. Hi, hello, Brian. How are you? How you doing? Help me.
Yeah, so Elmer was really like intense in the hotel room when he's trying to detox. He's like, "Listen, you belong to me now. Like you're going to do what I say." The whole script changes from "I'm your friend" to "I'm your dealer." Like I am in charge here. I'm the captain now. And Brian realizes there's nothing he can do about that. So he goes along with it. He goes into the shower, into one of the most awkward shower
This is the
scenes
most,
I've ever
yes,
seen in my life. Right. Yeah. So when he goes into the shower, what is his name? Joe Gonzalez, who also plays Zoro when we start to talk about
Wait, I
Frankenhooker.
have the notes I wanted to say about that scene. The detox? I'm sorry.
Oh, you found him?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah,
have
go
to scroll
ahead with
back in
the
our
detox.
messages. Okay, so the quote is, "Oh, please, Brian, you're not going to throw up in front of me, are you? I don't want to watch this. Why'd you bring me here? Why can't you leave me home?" And in my head, I'm like, why is he throwing up all over a radiator?
Oh my God, yeah, right? That's like the absolute worst place you could throw up is on the radiator for it to heat up and smell.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but I mean, shoot, when you're detoxing, you do what you do. So, okay, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. So in the same hotel room, actually, the first people that he's looking at to maybe possibly kill is like that big biker dude with like the little skinny guy. And he's just talking about the end of the world.
Yeah.
He's like, and the world is gonna end. And like they're just walking along in the hall and then go into the room together. And then he goes into the shower and he sees Joe Gonzalez, who plays Zorro in Frankenhooker. And Joe Gonzalez is actually being like pretty cool. He's like, "Hey man, it's all right. Nobody's gonna mess with you in here." Because Brian just looks completely like just zonked. Because he's not. That's the other thing. Elmer is not going to give him any more juice until he gets him a brain. So now he feels like he's not juiced up. He's still going through withdrawals, and now he's trying to have to find somebody to kill.
Like really, he looks like death.
Yeah, he looks crazy. So anyway, we're just going to call him Zorro. Zorro is like, "Hey, nobody's going to mess with you, man. Don't worry." And then he keeps turning around. He's like, "You're weird, man. Like, why are you looking at me like
He was just
that?"
like
Like he's just
really, yeah, he was
staring.
like really looking at him intensely.
Right, yeah. And I mean, they're both like naked in the shower, so it's super awkward. And then Zorro like turns off the shower and he's like, "All right, man, you have it all to yourself now." And he leaves. So he doesn't get killed in this film. Um,
It's
you
like,
know,
why is that scene in there?
right, right. Yeah, I think it's maybe just to tie in the universe
They
because
did that with
I
I
mean,
forgot which other movie where the star basket case was in. It was either this one or
mm,
Frankenhooker with the one of the people in the building. I forgot which one it is.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, so maybe that's it. Maybe he knew Joe Gonzalez was going to be in the next film and wanted to tie it in. Who
I
knows?
love
I don't
productions
know.
like that.
Or he just wanted to show off Joe Gonzalez's butt in the shower.
And
I don't know.
shoulders.
The
There's a
dude's
lot of
ripped,
shoulders.
like right, a lot of shoulders, a lot of back, and a little bit of butt. So he was showing off some body there.
He was like an 80s
But
pro
anyway,
wrestler.
so
He was
what?
like an 80s pro wrestler.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, kind of, right? But yeah, anyway, so Zorro leaves, and that just leaves one guy in the toilet alone reading what comic?
Dead World.
Dead
Yeah, and
World?
the artwork is done by, and I think, no, yeah, artwork is done by the guy who does the artwork for Cannibal Corpse, Vincent Locke.
Okay, yeah, so I just thought it was hilarious that you texted me and you're like, no way, the dude on the toilet is reading my favorite comic
Yeah,
book.
it's one of my favorite zombie books. It's better than Walking Dead,
That's
in my
awesome.
opinion. And that's one of my favorite covers of all time. I started losing my shit.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so anyway, Elmer decides that's the guy to kill. I guess maybe Zorro seemed too dangerous. So anyway,
Wait, do you
yeah,
think if Brian was weak, he probably was too?
I don't know if there was a connection like that because I think that
Was it more
he's a
that Brian was the parasite?
no, I don't think so.
Because he
I
needed
think
needed
that
Elmer.
he did once he was
Yeah.
high. Okay. So I think that Elmer was a weak parasite when it came to physicality. Not so much, I guess. Once he got on your head, I mean, he was gonna kill you. But if you think about that, everybody that he did kill, in the beginning, it was the security guard who was kind of a small
Yeah.
guy. In the bar, it was a woman who was kind of a smaller woman. In the bathroom, it was the smaller person of the two. And then later on, it was the older couple, both of them who were old and
Yeah,
frail.
they're
So
fucking weird as hell, man.
I think that maybe he had a threshold to what he could handle as far as like who would be able to rip him off of their head. But I think that he needed a ride more than anything, and I think that Brian was easy enough as a ride. Does that make sense?
Because he was already
like he
sick.
can't get
Yeah.
around. If he's stuck in water, like he has to stay moist or whatever. I mean, he can't get around, so he needs a ride. So if he finds a ride, he's good to go. And it's probably better to have a ride that's easily controlled fully than like the old people who couldn't be controlled fully and knew about him and knew how to handle him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I wouldn't say that Brian was the
And
parasite.
didn't Elmer say that because he was eating like animal brains that he was like going crazy or something?
Yeah, he wasn't strong enough. It wasn't making him strong enough, essentially, is the real reason. But he might have said it was making him go crazy.
I think
Maybe
you're
because
right.
he
I
wasn't
think what I
feeling
was saying is just
fulfilled.
bullshit.
What?
No, I think I just like made that up, what I just said. But he definitely did say I'm weaker because I'm eating this animal brains.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, maybe I don't remember exactly, but it's good to talk theory. Like, what is the real, like, what's the symbolism? And I think people do that. Like I was saying, Frank Henenlotter has said specifically that this film is not like a narrative on drug use. But I mean, you could definitely interpret that it could be a narrative on like strong drug use. You know what I mean? So
And all
anyway,
movies are
it's good
subjective. So
it's good to talk theory. I like it, or theories. Anyway, yeah. So let's move on. He tells he goes through the unfortunate sequence of hearing his girlfriend and brother have sex. He comes out and he quote unquote catches them, but whatever. He just tells them, "You have to be gone. You cannot be here." And he's not doing it from a selfish standpoint. He's kind of understanding in the fact that like he's kind of screwed this all up. But he tells them that the parasite is not picky when it comes to brains. So you guys need to not be here. I can't help it. I murder now. And that freaks them both out, a lot. But obviously it doesn't freak the girlfriend out enough. So let's move on through this next paragraph of my notes. So returning to his apartment, Brian discovers that Mike and Barbara have begun a relationship. I'm not going to call it that. They did have consensual sex, though. Realizing that he cannot control himself or choose Elmer's targets, Brian tries to warn them away before fleeing to the streets. Barbara does follow and confronts him on the subway, where Elmer kills her. Okay, so stopping there really quick. I just wish it would have been Mike.
Yeah, it would have been easier if it was Mike.
I would have felt better if it was Mike, because Barbara really tried hard to continue to care for Brian and check in on Brian, and pushed to be okay with Brian, and she really did kind of get seduced in a poor emotional state by a shitty brother named Mike.
No relation.
Yeah, so no relation to Mikey. But yeah, so she, in her dedication to Brian as her, previous partner, when he says you have to go, I might kill you, she chases him to say what do you mean? I'm so worried. I just care about you. I care about your safety. I don't want you to be like this. We can get you help, whatever. But unfortunately at this point, Elmer's already gotten Brian high, and Brian is riding the color train, because they show some shots of Barbara's face and she's just lit up like neon pink or whatever. So he's seeing the colors and riding the high. Well, a couple times, this is a kind of cool, as far as CGI goes, I guess, for the movie. When they're in the subway, they get into the train and they go through some dark patches, and you see Elmer kind of shoot out of Brian's mouth real fast, kind of like a snake, and try to grab Barbara. But there are other people on the train, so he's not trying to do it in a public way. Well, anyway, she finally gets too close and they kiss, and Elmer jumps into her throat and eats her brain and kills her right there.
Fatality.
Yeah, fatality. But it looks to everybody on the train, it just looks like they're making out. So nobody notices what's going on, and then he drops her and walks off the subway. So super sad there. Yeah. So anyway, he goes back to the apartment, and back there, Morris and his wife, Martha, which I kind of forgot she had a name, Morris and Martha, hold Brian at gunpoint to steal Elmer back. Elmer attacks them, shoots out at them and grabs their heads and really kills the wife. The screaming in this movie, that's a note. Bro, the screaming in this movie, particularly from the old lady, Martha, is insane. In the beginning, I was wearing headphones. In the beginning of the movie, she screams when they lose Elmer. And then again at the end, when he attacks her, she screams the most bloody murder, blood-curdling scream that I've heard in a while. It's a really intense tone, so check that out and pay attention for that. Anyway, so... Elmer attacks them. He does kill the wife first. She screams like wild. As he feeds on their brains, Brian starts to beg for another injection of juice because he's starting to come off of his high. At that point, Elmer says, I'm not finished, eating here. And he was eating the husband at this point. So he wasn't finished actually killing the husband. But Elmer agrees to feed Brian. So he picks him up and puts him on the back of his neck and starts to open his mouth. But I guess maybe this is the one time where he's vulnerable, maybe? I don't know, because as he's sticking the needle essentially into Brian's neck, the old man gets up. Morris gets up and grabs. Oh man. Okay. Hey, everybody. And so sorry. We have been having some just awful technical difficulties today. The internet has just been garbage. It's been kicking me out of the room, and then Mike has been kicked out. And so right now I'm here by myself. You know what? No. It looks like Balthy's coming in to cover for Mike.
Hey guys, how are you? I know I haven't talked on this show before, but it's nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Balthy. If you can keep an eye on the customers, I'll finish up with the show. I mean, Mikey would typically be, body slamming people through tables or whatever. Just do what Mikey would do.
All right, I'm gonna jam out over here.
All right, sounds good, bud. Thanks. Anyway, okay, guys. Yeah, so just to finish up on the notes from brain damage. I think we kind of fell apart where Brian was going back to his apartment after having, unfortunately, killed his girlfriend, Barbara. So once he returns to his apartment, Brian discovers... Oh, wait, no. That's too far back in the notes. Once Brian kills Barbara, unfortunately, he heads back to his apartment, and he's confronted in the courtyard of his apartment again by the older couple, Morris and Martha. They hold Brian at gunpoint to steal Elmer back, and then Elmer attacks them. So Elmer does, jump onto the wife first and attacks her, and I think is on her head or her neck and boring into her brain. She screams. Her scream in this is insane. Like, she has just a wild, high-pitched scream, and kills the wife, and then goes and attacks the husband, takes him down. And at this point, Brian is coming out of his high, so he actually asks Elmer for another hit. Elmer at that point says, "I'm not done. I'm not finished." But Brian insists, so he picks Elmer up, puts him on his neck, and unfortunately, while Brian is being injected with the juice, the husband, who was Morris, Morris, gets up, and because he's not dead yet, and grabs Elmer, squeezes him, which ends up killing Elmer. You see him kind of convulsing on the ground in a pool of black or blue liquid. But unfortunately for Brian, this means that all of the juice inside of Elmer has been squeezed into Brian's brain, causing him to start to have bulges pop out of his head. He's leaking blue liquid out of his head. Things are just going bad. He runs up to his apartment, past his brother, who says, "What's going on?" into his bedroom, where you see from outside, where the cops have been called because of the gunshots and that you see lights coming out of Brian's bedroom, like crazy lights. So the cops go up to the apartment. They go into the apartment with the brother, and the first thing they see is a hole in Brian's skull that essentially has a spotlight coming out of it. So he's not dead, but he's essentially turned into a lamp. So yeah, pretty wild stuff. So the notes here: the police arrive at the apartment building. They're joined by Mike. They break down Brian's door. They find Brian, who stares blankly at them with a large glowing hole in his forehead, emanating with light and long crackles of electricity. So who knows what's going to happen when he comes down from that high, or maybe he's a god now. Who knows? They don't really specify there. So that is it for the plot of the movie. And again, we do appreciate your patience. Sorry, we're going to go ahead and, we're not going to be able to finish our double feature today. We're going to have to stop after this film. So yeah, without Mikey here, I'm not going to do a whole nother movie. You guys are just going to have to wait. Sorry about that. But a few, a few notes here to finish up. Brain damage, at least. So, as far as drug abuse goes, brain damage was reportedly inspired by Frank Henenlotter's own cocaine addiction. In a 1988 interview with Henenlotter, Robert Martin of Fangoria referred to the imagery of Elmer's needle entering the back of Brian's neck as being evocative of drug abuse. Henenlotter is quoted as saying, "To me, the drug is a function of the plot, and that's that. To see Elmer as a metaphor for real drugs is very narrow of a reading. The needle, the fluid, all that simply moves the plot. In broader terms, Elmer and all of that was simply a free ride, a way out, escapism. There are many other avenues for that besides drugs, but drug imagery was a simple, easy way of expressing that in a film." He likened the film to a superficial adaptation of Faust, a reading echoed by Los Angeles Times film critic Leonard Clady. So, in the same interview on sexuality, Martin, in response to Martin's interpretation of the film's screenplay as being representative of dread of sexual intercourse, Henenlotter stated, "Oh no, I don't think so at all. I don't agree with that at all. In an earlier version of the script, I had Elmer so sexual in nature that it was dangerous. Some of that carries over, but the thing is, anytime someone mixes sex and horror, it's assumed that this is someone who hates sex or who has a loathing of it, and that just isn't so." However, Henenlotter did acknowledge a sexual undertone to the film, adding, "One of the guys at the lab was saying, 'Oh my God, you're making some kind of weird statement here. You've got a monster that looks phallic talking about his juice.' What can I say? It's obviously there. I didn't set out to put it there. That's just simply what the imagery turned out to be. And I'm not about to change the imagery to just eliminate that." So, he did admit that there is some sexual undertones in that, as well as, possible drug undertones or whatever. So, anyway, let's see. Any other notable items? As far as production goes, principal photography on Brain Damage began on January 21st in 1987. Filming took place in New York City over the course of 8 weeks. The primary location for the shoot was a building on West 33rd Street in Manhattan that had formerly housed belt manufacturing and sign painting businesses. According to Levins and Lamberson, the first floor of the building was an equipment rental house operated by Mike Spera, from which the production rented its equipment. The second floor was rented out as a living space for Bartolos and mechanical effects artist David Kendallon, and the fourth floor was used for filming. So, cool little note there. As of 2010, there were current photos of the exterior of Sunshine Hotel, which was used as a part of a filming location there. Brian's apartment, the Hell nightclub, and the courtyard were all constructed sets built in the West 33rd Street building, though. The junkyard sequence was filmed at Statewide Auto Parts, a junkyard then located at 1256 Grand Street in Brooklyn. So if you ever wanted to go by that, there you go. Okay, so special effects. Al Magliochetti, what a name, who would serve as stop-motion animator and optical effects on Brain Damage, received the screenplay for the film from Henenlotter and lent it to Bartolos. At the time, both were working on the 1986 film Spookies. Okay, yeah, so most of the effects were practical. It looks like that they created like creatures that they would attach to people's heads for when Elmer was attacking through the head. When the blood was pouring out during a hallucination of Brian's brain, that was all made through practical effects. It looks like the only special effects, like the only digital effects, were in the subway when Elmer was coming out of Brian's mouth. So, yeah, it looks like most of this is practical, which is great. And then the shot of light beams shining out of Brian's bedroom window in the final scene was accomplished using a miniature brick facade of a side of the apartment building fashioned together by Magliochetti with parts from a dollhouse supply store affixed to a plank of wood. Interesting. Magliochetti stood behind the miniature and waved around the slide projector, causing a flashing light to be projected through the miniature window. So pretty neat stuff there. Brain Damage was edited at night at the Film Center building, which allowed low-budget productions to utilize its film and sound editing facilities after hours for free. Wow, very cool. So long as they cleaned the space by 8 a.m. when paying customers arrived. James Kwai, who had invested money in Basket Case's production and worked nights at the Film Center building, served as an editor on Brain Damage. The first cut of Brain Damage was around 66 minutes in length, which led to Henenlotter and Kwai to adjust the pacing in order to extend its running time. Okay, cool. So as far as reception goes, the New York Times' Walter Goodman called Brain Damage a brainless movie, criticizing the acting and special effects. Rude. What do you think of those critics, Balthy?
Kill the critics.
Yep, I agree. Lou Saradone of the Baltimore Evening Sun wrote, "The producers did try to be funny, but their film is more revolting than it is amusing," and concluded that at heart, it's a little more than a meaningless exercise in slime. Jeez Louise. The Age's Neil Gillett called it a comedy in somewhat poor taste and wrote, "While Brain Damage is not advocatory of drug abuse, its message is hardly helpful to the anti-drug campaign." Haters, left and right. Yeah, so initially it seems that all of the reviews were pretty rough, but retrospective assessments, from cult sources do say that people have embraced the film. Obviously they have, or we wouldn't have covered it. Appreciation for the film grew after it was released on home video, and it's been characterized as having acquired a cult following, with people calling it both Basket Case and Brain Damage cult favorites there. In 2017, Slant Magazine's Chuck Bowen called the film a gnarly gem of 1980s era punk horror. Nice. In 2022, Matthew Thrift of the British Film Institute included Brain Damage on his list of 10 great body horror films. Very cool. And even, Mikey hates Rotten Tomatoes, and I get it, but Rotten Tomatoes has an approval of 67%, which is a lot better than a lot of movies. So generally favorable at this point in time, but really rough reviews when it first came out. Yeah. So I think that's really the gist on Brain Damage. It's not as fun finishing these up without Mikey, because we have a ton of fun just chatting about notes about stuff. So I hate that he's not here for the end of this, but unfortunately that's the way the cards have fallen today. So I was able to get a text in from Mikey, and we have compiled at least the list of suggestions of movies that we should be sending you guys home with. So, thanks again for listening in to our in-depth review and analysis of Brain Damage. Your 5 movies that you get with your membership card, because remember, with your membership card, you get 5 free rentals a week for $3 or whatever, we made up. But this week, the 5 movies we're going to send you home with are going to be, of course, 1988's Brain Damage. But we're also going to send you home with 1988's Death Spa, 1993's Body Melt, which Mikey was talking about in the beginning, I believe. And for the kids, we're actually going to send you home with 2 movies this week, because we really want to show that we are a family-friendly establishment, despite my co-host having a sleep paralysis demon follow him around all the time, and having a half demon, half human named Balthazar also working at the store.
Hey, listen, I'm a nice guy, no matter what you say.
I know you are. Calm down. It's okay. You're nice. You just happen to maybe be a little much sometimes, but that's okay. No worries. So the 2 movies we're going to send home for the kids, Mikey's recommendation was 1997's animated classic Anastasia. Good recommendation there. And then I have a recommendation as well. 1973's animated classic Robin Hood. Robin Hood is a fox in that movie, and it's a ton of fun. The soundtrack is great. So, yeah, those are going to be your movies. Grab your popcorn, grab your chips, grab your sodas, whatever you're going to get. Bring it on up. Come on, let's get you out of here. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of the VHS Doom podcast and joining us here at the VHS Doom Rental Store. We greatly appreciate your patronage, and thank you for joining us every week. If you have been, if it's your first time, thank you for tuning in this week and checking us out. If you guys want, as a reminder, we haven't said this in a couple episodes, but we do have an email, vhsdoom@gmail.com, where you can write in and, let us know what you think of the show, or if you want us to read anything. I'll literally read anything that you send me. We'll read it on air, happy birthday, or, I hate you, or I love you, or will you marry me? Whatever, doesn't matter. Send us an email, or you can message us on Twitter. It's at VHS Doom Pod. On Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We'd love to hear from you guys. If you don't follow us already, check us out there. Mikey is our social media manager, and he makes sure that he, puts out a lot of good movie recommendations on the Twitter as well. And I'm going to start getting the Facebook and Instagram going because we're kind of slow there. So, yeah, that's it. Lastly, if you want, check us out at vhsdoom.com. If you go over there, you can kind of see a summary of our episodes. And also, at the very bottom of the website, you can find our T-shirt. It's our staff shirt. If you want to join the staff, pick one up. Also, if you buy a staff shirt, in real life, all proceeds go to getting Mikey a mic, because he just records on his phone right now. So, yeah, that's it. I think that's all I got. Balthy, any words of encouragement to round out the show here?
Yes. Listen, we appreciate you guys coming in to the rental store. I like having you as customers, and I'm sorry if I scare you every now and then. But for real, if I ever catch you chewing on the boxes, I will pick you up and rip you from your legs to your arms in half and throw your blood all over the windows and smear your face in that blood. Do not make me clean up dirty chewed cases.
Well, dang. All right, buddy. I appreciate you and all that you do here and keeping people in line. But these are good customers, so I don't think we have to worry about that. You guys enjoy your rentals. Don't forget, be kind, rewind before you bring them back next week. And next week, we will talk to you all about Frankenhooker. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace.